supposed to be representing, they got the damn agents of players that have turned on them, that is siding with the rest of the players and the WNBA owners, and they now...
Ladies and gentlemen, pause for a moment and take in the magnitude of what is unfolding within the Women's National Basketball Players Association. If you believe the tense Zoom meetings were troubling, if you thought the public disagreements were damaging, the situation has now reached a far more serious stage in this collective bargaining crisis. The union appears to have lost control of its own membership. The executive committee stands accused of operating independently of the broader player base, and now some of the most powerful figures in the sports industry have stepped forward. Prominent player agents have formally challenged the WNBPA. According to a detailed report from ESPN's Alexia Philippou, a coalition of nearly a dozen leading WNBA agents bypassed union leadership and delivered a formal letter to Executive Director Terri Jackson. Their message was direct. He essentially looked at Nneka Ogwumike, Brina Stewart and other members of the executive committee and said, "You are completely incompetent. You are driving our clients off a financial cliff, and we are stepping in to take the steering wheel." The agents are demanding clear and transparent communication with league owners and the league office because they no longer trust the information being shared by union leadership. For any labour union, this is an extraordinary and deeply serious moment. A union's purpose is to serve as the unified voice of its players. Yet critics argue that WNBA leadership has operated with such confidence and such disregard for the financial reality facing mid-level players that many athletes have turned to their agents seeking intervention. The rank-and-file players, those without multi-million-dollar endorsement deals, the women who rely heavily on their WNBA salaries, are confronting a difficult reality. They fear that the executive committee may risk their livelihoods in pursuit of a broader philosophical battle with ownership. The host of the video outlines which players may be most affected by this standoff, and it includes names that Caitlin Clark fans know very, very well.
That they were about to be screwed over by its own WNBPA, who is only looking out for max-level veteran players. You guys are going to get your $1.3 million, and the rookies are going to make some money, and everybody else is going to be screwed. And they caught on to it.
Consider the middle class of the WNBA, players such as Lexie Hull. These are the athletes who embrace demanding defensive roles, who provide stability, and who often serve as the foundation of championship rosters. Lexie Hull is approaching free agency and stands on the verge of a significant and potentially life-changing salary increase following her impressive season alongside Caitlin Clark. But if the union forces a lockout, if the season is delayed, Lexie Hull does not get paid. Sophie Cunningham does not get paid. Meanwhile, critics argue that the executive committee, composed largely of veteran max contract players who have already secured long-term financial stability, may be more capable of enduring a work stoppage. They are reportedly seeking 30% of gross revenue. Yet many mid-tier players are examining the owner's current proposal, including a $5.65 million salary cap, housing benefits and a 15% revenue share, and they are saying, "Take the deal. That is life-changing money for us." The agents recognize this growing divide. They also understand that a large portion of the league is in unrestricted free agency. During a lockout, contracts are not signed, and agents do not receive commissions. Agents manage businesses and financial obligations as well. They are unwilling to see their agencies suffer during what they view as a pride-driven standoff. However, the most serious element of this report is not only financial. It centers on trust. Agents are accusing WNBPA leadership of withholding critical information from its own membership.
Who signed the letter also asked for the ability to review the league's current proposal for a new CBA, subject to signed non-disclosure agreements. Okay, so they want to know, they want to see the full-on CBA offer from the WNBA directly. They don't trust that the WNBPA is sharing the proper information. As
the gravity of that accusation cannot be overstated. Agents are formally requesting direct access to the owner's proposal under non-disclosure agreements because they do not trust union leadership to present the terms accurately. They believe the executive committee is misrepresenting details of offers presented by the league office, portraying them in a way that intensifies player frustration and pushes momentum toward a strike. When an agent states, "Show me the paperwork because I know you are lying to my client," your authority as a union is entirely irreparably destroyed. You are a fraud. The credibility of union leadership is placed under intense scrutiny. Agents understand that the March 10 deadline carries real consequences. Owners are facing complex scheduling pressures involving an expansion draft, the collegiate draft, and free agency within a limited timeframe. Delays could create significant operational challenges. Agents recognize this urgency. Owners recognize it as well. Yet union leadership is accused of continuing to believe it holds the greater leverage. Beyond concerns about proposal transparency, agents are also questioning the structure of internal polling. The WNBPA announced plans to distribute a survey to players regarding the owners' latest offer, but agents quickly expressed concern. They are familiar with how such surveys can shape perception. The host explains why agents are seeking oversight of what may appear to be a simple questionnaire.
Throughout the negotiation process, the agents additionally requested transparency and input into the survey. So the agents want input into what's being asked on the survey. They don't want the WNBPA mucking up the questions in a way that can sway the people.
Agents are demanding to review the survey language because they fear it may contain leading questions that influence players towards supporting a strike. They anticipate questions framed in ways such as, do you believe the billionaire owners should hoard all the Caitlin Clark money while you suffer? Or should we stand strong and demand our fair share? If players select the second option, the union could present the results publicly as proof of unified support for a strike. Agents are responding firmly, stating, absolutely not. We are reviewing the questions. We are adding our own questions. We are going to make sure the players understand the actual catastrophic financial consequences of missing the May 8 tip-off. The impact of Caitlin Clark has intensified scrutiny on the WNBA Players Association. In prior years, negotiations attracted limited public attention. Now, with substantial financial stakes and heightened visibility, every decision is magnified. Critics argue that union leadership misjudged its leverage, believing a strike threat could pressure ownership, particularly during Clark's sophomore season. Instead, ownership appears firm, mid-tier players have voiced concern, and agents have stepped decisively into negotiations. The executive committee now faces mounting internal pressure as the March 10 deadline approaches rapidly. Agents are pushing for resolution. Many mid-level players are seeking financial certainty. The season's future hangs in the balance. When this dispute concludes, those who directed these negotiations may be asked to explain how the league came so close to jeopardizing what many view as a historic opportunity for women's professional basketball. The strike appears unlikely. The union is divided. Agents hold significant influence. Now sign the paper and let Caitlin Clark play.